This is not Metroid. It is Splatoon 3. Build it up! Let's go! There it is! There it is! Hello ladies and gentlemen and all the core gamers out there, CAJ Man 777 here, and as you can probably tell from the intro clip, I am so hyped for Splatoon 3 to release. Obviously, the direct hype has kind of maybe slightly died down a bit for some of you, and I know I'm kind of getting this video out late. I blame work. But, you know, I wanted to do something at least for Splatoon 3, because as many people know, my YouTube really started to take off. Like, my content creation, it really started to take off through Splatoon and through Splatoon 2. So I feel like it was only fitting to kind of do something here with the Splatoon 3 announcement trailer. So obviously what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and I am going to just kind of analyze the trailer a little bit because, you know, I've watched the trailer again and again, but I think there are a couple things that I think are worth mentioning in this trailer, as well as kind of giving a little bit of theory crafting onto where Splatoon 3 I think is going to be headed. Obviously we all know, because of the Final Fest in Splatoon 2 that, you know, Team Chaos won. So, you know, I'm glad Splatoon 3 is at least in a post-apocalyptic wasteland more than the futuristic dystopia that we probably would have gotten if Team Order would have won it. And I was on Team Chaos, by the way, and I don't regret it. But yeah, so let's just get in. Let's analyze the trailer a little bit. And I also have some screenshots, obviously, from the official Splatoon JP Twitter that I kind of like to talk about a little bit, mainly because it actually plays a little bit of a part in this trailer. So let's just get into it, and I'm just going to give my thoughts and impressions. It's going to be kind of a shorter video, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And of course, if you are enjoying this kind of content on the channel, you should hit like and subscribe anyway. I saw the art style immediately of this second shot, and I was like, this is not Metroid Prime 4 as well. What I should have realized, though, in this shot that should have already been a dead giveaway for me, is this writing right here on the... Actually, can you guys see my mouse? That would probably help. Okay, you can. That is helpful. But this writing right here is in squid writing, and the overall stylistic choice, this is clearly not Metroid. So I was like, oh, this isn't Metroid right at this shot. And I knew that based on the stylistic choice. But what I didn't expect was this. I lost it. I lost it right here when this happened, and now obviously we can go back and we can kind of slow down a little bit of the trailer here. And I'm going to be pausing bits and pieces throughout this video, as you know. But obviously, we have new set hairstyles for the male and female Inklings and Octolings, and I really like the female hairstyle here with like the braid and then one long tentacle. Kind of goes to show you that, you know, new fashion choices have kind of come up in the world of Chaos. And the little small fry, we're gonna talk about him in a second. Here's where I want to pause the video, because the eyes specifically for Splat, like if I go back a second, you can see that there's not too much going on with the eyes here, and there's like there's multicolored options here for the eyes, and I'm kind of like, obviously standard green eyes with the a black pupil and stuff like that, but like you go into this, like, and I notice it more in this when they select these eye options than they do the other options. But what's really cool about these new eyes is there seems to be a gradient inside their eyelid here. The eyelid here, it seems to be like a bit more of a gradient inside the eye, and maybe a little bit of a lighter color in the pupil. Something else to notice that I don't think a lot of people notice is that they are missing like part of their eyebrow. This is not a visual glitch. This is just part of the eyebrow is missing. It's like there's a little cut through it, so I wonder if we're getting maybe little cosmetic things to go through as you go through, but it only seems to be on the one side of the Inkling as well. It could also be the style thing, but of course, as we get into the hair options here, this is great. Hairstyles are no longer gender locked to whether you pick a male or female Inkling or Octoling, and that is absolutely fantastic. I know some of my content creator friends are trans and bi, and I have to give Nintendo so much respect for this, because it was, you know, accepting people for how they are is part of how the world needs to be run today, and I'm glad to see that they're kind of doing that in Splatoon 3 here. So I'm very happy for them to do that. Really like all these styles. This is kind of like, I'm not a big fan of this one. Let's actually hear, they scroll through them pretty quickly. So let's go back and we'll take a look at the hairstyles. Standard hairstyle, I really like for the female Inkling. I'm not a big fan, though, of the standard male Inkling hairstyle for Splatoon 3. And obviously, I'm sure this will vary whether you are Inkling or Octoling, and there will be other hairstyle choices, but obviously they choose an Inkling here, so I don't think we see the Octoling hairstyles. But there's some really cool little details here, like on this next hairstyle, you could rock this hairstyle as a dude, easy. But I love the fact that because Splatoon 3 takes place kind of like more in a more post-apocalyptic thing than it already does, I like the little, like, the dried up edges on the tentacles. I think it gives the character so much more style and personality. You could easily rock this hairstyle, and honestly, this is kind of how my hair looks when it's an absolute mess. I would pull up a picture, but I don't think you guys want to see me in the morning with bed hair. I don't think that's a good idea. Looks like a couple more new pants options here, and I love the new standard outfit. If this is the new standard outfit gear, it works so well for the post-apocalyptic setting. I really, really, really like that. I think that's really cool. Couple more pants options here. We got like some baggy shorts now, and that's honestly it. And maybe this option as well is also back, but remember, this is kind of early, so I'm maybe expecting to see that we're gonna get more pant styles later down the line. So nothing too much to see here, as we can kind of move on to the trailer here. Now, little buddy's turn. The small fry. Something must have happened with Grizzco for us to have a small fry as a pet. Now, if you guys know anything about when I played Splatoon 2, I referred to these little guys as Satan, because they were always chasing you with little spoons wanting to smack you to death. So the fact that we now have a little small fry as a pet is fantastic. I'm kind of disappointed that we can't, like, customize the eye and hair specifically. Like, the hairstyles are set. I'm totally going with Mohawk Salmon. But yeah. So little Satan is now a friend, I guess. This shot just speaks for itself. This shot just entirely speaks for itself. This shot is unreal. Somehow, the Eiffel Tower got flipped upside down. So, does Splatoon 3 take place in France? Well, that is the growing theory, but I personally think it's the Eiffel Tower has been moved. It is crazy to see it in such a rusted and broken down state, though. It is really cool to look at. And we finally get a decent look at how you hold the bow as well. We'll be talking about the bow a little bit later. But the little small fry down here, look at him go. Look at him go. And obviously based on screenshots of the bow that we've seen from Splatoon JP, the bow is triple shot. You can see that there's 3 ink shooters. One's here, and one's here. This is the main one, I'm sure. But as you can tell, the splat bow is made of a fishing rod. So here's the reel and everything. And when you shoot it, I've noticed that the bowstrings glow, and I wonder if it has a charge mechanic really to get that triple shot. And we'll try and break down the cool action stuff a little bit later, because there's a lot. Showing a couple shots of the game here, and let me tell you, this game looks absolutely beautiful. And here is where I want to bring out a real good detail. First off, little buddy is vibing over here. He's having a good time. Now, here is where I want to pause it, right here. Now, based on Splatoon JP's tweets, and I'll see if I can put a couple of them on, and actually, the best one to do it for is actually this one right here. So if I can pull this up for you guys, this will be huge. But I want to point out something, and we've been talking about this screenshot a little bit later as well with the blaster, but I have to kind of enlarge it so you can see it a little bit. As you can see here, obviously the background's a wasteland and also funky Octoling hairstyles, but I'm going to hide this just for a second. This city back here, in this city specifically back here, behind the main Inkling, I do not believe this is the main city of Splatsville, which is the name of the city in Splatoon 3. I do not think that is Splatsville, and here's why. I think, based on the events of Splatoon 2, obviously Chaos took over the world, but it seems like there are bits and pieces of the Splatoon world that still function on some sort of order. And if you look at how futuristic this city is compared to literally everything around it, and compared to the city we'll see later, you'll notice that this is probably not the same city, which is why I wanted to bring up this screenshot. It seems right here specifically, obviously we'll be talking about the weapons, but they refer in this tweet to a high collar region compared to the Bankara region, which the Bankara region is Splatsville. Which this is just a JP translation of it. So and you see this constantly, the high collar region. I think this area here, this city in the background, is the high collar region, and we're gonna see some more of it, maybe based on story. It might be related directly to the story of Splatoon 3. And of course, I think this was everybody's favorite part of the trailer here, and let me tell you, there is so much to break down in this one shot right away. First off, there's a little bit of a bike store with a little bike thing outside. It'd kind of be cool if we could ride bikes. Up here you can see some apartments with little clotheslines and open windows, and if my friend Vic has anything to say about this, my friend Vic would say, I want those to be apartments. But yeah, no, I think with an open window like that, I think it's very possible that we might be getting some apartments in Splatoon 3, which would be kind of cool. Maybe you'll have like the collectibles, and maybe you could keep, if there are apartments, maybe you keep the collectibles in story mode that you get in there. Maybe you can invite your friends over into your room and just kind of walk around, or maybe it's like a little house. And then you can, invite your friends into your house. You guys can walk around, kind of like do random actions, maybe like sit on the chairs, or like, they have little animations for you to do cute things. And then you can just queue up with your friends from the room, which I think will be really cool. But that's all I really have to say about the apartments. This is a pig? A bank, maybe, for Splatoon? I don't exactly know what this will be used for, but it seems like you can enter it down here. So I'm interested to see where that goes. As the map rotates out a little more, and before we're gonna let the music build up, we're gonna go into this little shot, this alley shot. Now, here's Splatoon needs to change. Obviously, Splatoon 1 and 2, we had situations where there was not, the hub was relatively small. Not really a lot of hidden things to walk around in, not really a lot of like a big circle thing. But seeing that Splatsville is more of a Splatoon-like city, now I wonder if we'll finally be able to like walk around a little bit more. Maybe we'll have like some shops and kind of like a circle kind of thing, but it doesn't look like it, and I'll explain why in a second. I feel like this, you might not be able to get up here, or you might be able to. I hope we can just walk around the city a little bit more, because I feel like the main hubs for Splatoon, obviously the main quirk of Splatoon is that it's a big online thing, but I'd like the time just to be able to walk around and explore and, pay attention to every small little thing in the city. So I think it'd be really cool if they expanded on the whole city. And as we play it again a little more, you get a good shot at the bike, and that let me tell you, this shot goes by really quick. But as you can see, here's the truck, which I thought was Krusty Sean's truck, and even looking at it now, it might not be. But this is where the bike shop would be, if there's a bike shop, or it's a brand new shop. This is a bamboo snake with a crown on its head. I think it's meant to symbolize the great Zapfish. I could be wrong on that. As you can see from this angle, you got the main battle tower, but it looks like we'll spawn over more here to the right side. So we actually have to walk back and up the stairs to get to the battle tower. So it looks like they're expanding on it and not just leaving it in front of you. And as well, you can see Sheldon's weapon shop logo right here in the corner as well. So that's obviously where our weapons are going to be, and there's the open doors. And you can see some styles. Again, the white arrow bands are back, along with I believe that's it's one of the Empire tees. This seems like it's going to be another shop right here. It feels very similar to Splatoon 2's shopkeeper, like the way it looks. So I won't be surprised if this is a shop and then this is a shop over here somewhere on the right. But you get a better look, and indeed this is going to be Sheldon's weapon shop. But you can see there are shops that are like not fully open, so maybe they'll open as the game goes on. And of course, you build it up, and there it is, the Splatoon 3 logo. I think everybody lost it when they finally saw that appear on the screen. Oh no, but we're not done, because there is more, and I love this because first off, the remix of Splatag. But I'm going to pause it right here, right when we get a good shot, because first off, everybody's got a different weapon here. Everybody's got a different weapon here, and you can see they're all standing differently. I like that the snipers are hanging from the ceiling. I like that the dynamo is just absolutely menacing standing there. The bow looks like it's ready for a fight. This is not a normal blaster, by the way. This is the range blaster, and I will prove that again. But before we move any further in the trailer, I want to kind of give a breakdown here because the Inklings and the Octolings, they are coming out of... Also, nice hairstyle. That's a new Octoling hairstyle, and I didn't even notice it's like a little mohawk, and I kind of like it. But I want to point out, these are... The Inklings and Octolings pop out of espresso makers, and what you're about to see makes me think that they prepare for battle by, drinking the espresso inside the espresso maker because of, well, what you're about to see in literally 2 seconds here. The fact that you launch yourself into battle. This seems like this is going to be the way to respawn forever in Splatoon. As you can see, the respawn point is actually on the top back of this icon here. And if you notice, the normal respawn points of the Splatoon maps are taped over, meaning that respawns are probably no longer standard. This alleviates actually a couple things that I know a lot of players might have had some issue with. Number one, I know a lot of players didn't like to get spawn camped. Obviously, in competitive, spawn camping when you're playing a ranked mode is a little bit part of the game. But so being able to work with your team and push out is great. But for a casual player, being spawn camped, was never fun. What this new launch mechanic does, is it alleviates some of that stress because when you come back into battle, you can pick where to launch specifically, and I think this is going to play a huge part into the competitive scene of Splatoon 3 as well, because you're going to have multiple teammates kind of launch in at the same point, but it seems like the range on this launch only goes so far. I think there's a set area, and from the looks of it, maybe we're, like right where this line is, if you notice, this line kind of goes all the way across with the shadows and stuff. I think this line, you're locked to like your respawn points there. But this is nice. You got some high ground for snipers and stuff, and it's just such a really good, it's just such a cool look. Now we get a really good look at the bow here, and I'm going to slow this down actually for you guys, because it makes it a lot easier. We're going to slow it down to 5. This is going to be real weird, but now you can see the bow charged, and you can see there's actually 3 lines of ink, and it looks like there's like a fishing line on each, so when that fishing line retracts, there's like ink on the fishing line, and it pushes it out. Fires 3 shots, seemingly in parallel lines. You don't think it would go parallel, but it seems like they are launching parallel. So it might not be in 3 separate directions. So that might be something to keep in mind here if you actually take a look at that, which is kind of cool. As we get more into it, we get a new movement technique here. This vorpal spin, and we will get into that right here because that right there is that same spin. I was wondering how the heck did a blaster get this high up instead of just jumping on top of the ledge? They're using a new movement technique, which I'm referring to as a vorpal spin. But before I show the screenshot for the vorpal spin, I gotta show this. This right here. This is your normal blaster. Notice how it looks a bit more chaos-like. This is the blaster on the other side, a bit more orderly. Let's read the tweet. The tweet specifically says, it seems that the main weapon used in the high collar region so far is also used in the Splatsville region. The basic performance of both weapons remains the same, but the appearance of some weapons has been renewed. The 96 gallons and long blasters seem to have a different design from the same type of Buki, aka weapon, so that their individuality is more prominent. This is really good, and this is very important information to know because that probably means the 52 gal is going to look more orderly rather than more chaos-like the 96 looks. But this here is the range blaster on the right and the standard blaster on the left. So I love the new range blaster design. I really like it. As the king of meaty directs, I approve. But I do have another screenshot to show here from their official Twitter source, and that is this new movement technique thing, which actually it's a direct one-to-one screenshot from the trailer pretty much. You can see this new spinning. In addition, there is a new habit of squids, aka new movement. The movement of jumping out while rotating from the ground called Icarol. I don't know what it's actually going to be called. I'm calling it vorpal spinning, but that's just me. And the movement of climbing up the ink-painted wall and jumping up is called Ikanobori. So it looks like you're gonna have to play height with your opponents a bit more than we normally would in Splatoon 3, which is super cool. And as you can tell, again, by the screenshot here in the back, Dear God, that is so much height. The blaster here, actually, it's not the Dynamo getting decked, it's the 96 getting decked. But watch the shot. You can see the shot comes through, and I think it's more of a delay because you see the shot hit the ground here. Obviously, the Inkling is exploding here, but the range blaster shot's hitting the ground here. So does the range blaster now have pierce properties, or do the blasters now have pierce properties? If they do, that's terrifying, because now blasters are going to be able to get more than one target, potentially, if they line up. So collaterals for blasters, making them very useful. And the fact if it directs and pierces an opponent, it still seems to be an insta-splat. On top of maybe being able to do burst damage, you can hit multiple targets with this with just little chip damage and a direct. That's going to be so good if the blasters actually have that effect, and I'm super excited to see where they go. Obviously, we get more into the trailer here. We get some other cooler stuff, and you see, first off, some little laser things, which I will talk about in a moment here. But then we see the return of the Inkzooka, and I freaking love this. Watch this Inkzooka shot. Inkzooka, it doesn't seem to function. We got to slow it down a little bit more. Inkzooka doesn't seem to function the same way it normally does. As you can see, when the shot goes off, the shot's going this way. So I think the camera's messed up here in the shot. But the Inkzooka shot's actually here. So you can see the shot goes off, but it's no longer like a tornado. The Inkzooka kind of functions more like a grenade launcher. And it explodes on contact here, which I'm pretty excited about. I like the fact that the Inkzooka, they changed the mechanics of it, so having a little bit of like more of a grenade launcher Inkzooka, that'll be really cool. Now we get Crab Ball. Crab Bomb. Crab Bomb is a cool dude, alright? I might be wrong on this, and I might not be wrong on this, but I have this really cool screenshot. Remember those lasers we saw earlier? Remember those lasers we ended up seeing earlier in the trailer? I think these lasers, these targeting arrayed lasers, are from the crab. I think they are from the crab, because if you notice, there's little suction bombs in this screenshot on the end of each of them. So I think this crab here that you see is a mobile turret. I think this crab is a mobile turret of some kind, and he fires suction bomb lasers out, which will be really cool. I don't know how effective it'll be, and I might be wrong on this, but it's cool to speculate. And the reason I think he fires out the suction bomb shaped things is he's got a cannon there, there's a cannon there, and there's a cannon here. So I don't know. It makes me think that the suction bomb lasers are coming from the crab. And obviously we get another great shot at the Inkzooka here to finish it off. And that is really all we had for the Splatoon 3 trailer, besides the date. And I have to say, I'm really excited for Splatoon 3. I have another Splatoon 3 video planned coming up. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about Splatoon 3 a little bit more, and what that means necessarily for the future of not only my channel, but, you know, the future of potentially my career. I'm very excited. I'm super excited that, you know, Splatoon is back. It is stronger than ever, and I'm very much looking forward to Splatoon 3 and playing Splatoon 3 and playing it with friends, because this game, it really is just a lot of fun, and I just can't wait for its full release. But unfortunately, that is really all I have to say. But yeah, I don't want to keep this video going too long. I'm just going to say it. I'm hyped for Splatoon 3. I can't wait. And of course, I hope you guys enjoyed this little analysis video of the Splatoon 3 trailer for the Nintendo Switch. It is coming out next year. I want to say it might be coming out early next year, but I'm not going to get my hopes up on that. But you know what? We'll see. Usually they release Splatoon as like a summer game, but hey, we might see some more information about it for E3. And I love the colors, by the way, of the new logo. Very nice. But I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, as well as hitting that subscribe button for me, so we can hopefully get this channel to reach 5,000 subscribers. And of course, as always, you know, normally before I go, I do have to thank my donors over there on Patreon, who are MickeyPhorGens, Styleno, and Thomas, for their continued support to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. If you did all the way to the end of this video, I hope you guys are excited for Splatoon 3 as much as I am. And you know what? I'll see you in the next Splatoon video. So until then, this is CAJ Man 777 signing off. Stay safe, everybody.